Hey, Sylvie. Oh my God. What are you doing? What are you doing, babe? Looks hella comfy. So comfy. Yeah. Hello my darlings and welcome to a new mood reading vlog. So let's choose the tarot book, and for the tarot deck I'm using the Victorian Fairy Tarot. Okay, so the the tarot card I got is the Ace of Summer, which is the Ace of Cups, and that is Pinterest pics. Okay, I'm going to go on Pinterest. I cannot screen record, that's blue, that's knocking the camera, because my Pinterest page is full of naked women and YouTube does not like that. So I have to talk out loud at what I see. And literally the first book I see on Pinterest that is a book I haven't read, that's what we're going with. Okay, yeah, straight away there's like a naked woman in her panties. Thank God I didn't screen record. Okay, oh my God. Okay, so I have to take a picture of this because otherwise it'll go away. All right, we've got books here and you'll see the image up above. Fever Dream. Oh, well, Generation Bloodbath I have read. Did not like that book. Negative Space by Bea Yeager I have also read. Wasn't for me. Paradise Rot by Jenny Caval wasn't for me. All right, so this is what we've got that I haven't, oh, the Bell, oh, actually, no, I haven't read that. Okay, so we've got The Half Freaks, the Bell Chime, Jawbone, which I have heard of and does interest me, Drengron, In the Valley of the Headless Men, and Follow Me to Ground. Whoa, there's quite a lot of books I haven't read there, so I'm going to look them all up and decide which one I'm going to. I'm kind of intrigued. Like, this was a good bunch of books, even though there's 3 on there that I did not like at all, so I shouldn't be optimistic about this one, but interesting. That's what Pinterest brought, so I'll put a picture up here of whichever one I did decide to go for. Okay, so let's do the jar pick. I'm gonna keep my glasses on because they're not actually reflecting the light at the moment. All right, let's have a look. I still need to add more. I haven't seen it. What did we get? A Ship of Bones and Teeth by Karina Hale, and this was recommended by Sophie DHBXR. A Ship of Bones and Teeth. I feel like this is a mermaid one because I did do a mermaid kinky corner, and I think that was the comment that I got. Ship Bones. This is a newer one. Yep. 3.78 rating. It's a dark fantasy pirate romance retelling of The Little Mermaid. We'll see how we go with that one. So that is another book that I'm reading. I just got this in at the library, The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I know that this has been a booktube darling. Everyone's loving it. So naturally I'm thinking I probably won't like it. It won't be for me. But because there's so many people raving about it, I have to give it a look-see. They said it is similar to, oh my God, who's that author? The person who writes Daisy Jones and the Six. Just, it's similar to their stuff. And their stuff, I didn't mind. I didn't love it, but I didn't mind it. So we'll give this a go because you never know if you never give it a go. And then my lovely brother brought me a present. So he got me Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, which is a 5-star read for me. I was lucky enough to get an ARC for it. I did originally have, I think it was a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition on pre-order, but then when they went to charge my card got declined. I didn't have enough funds in there. And then I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let it go. It's a lot of money to buy it from overseas in American dollars and ship it here. And it wasn't sprayed edges. It just had end papers in there. So I don't need it. It's fine. I've got this beautiful floppy paperback. And yeah, my first Abby Jimenez for my bookshelf. I am going to go walking down to the shops to get some stuff, and I will touch base with you guys once I've read something. I've gone out. It is so windy. I think I'm going to regret wearing a little flimsy sundress without bike shorts underneath. I think everyone's going to get an eyeful of my cheeks today. So I decided to walk because my car needs like all that work done and I can't afford to get all that work done. So I'm very aware that any day now it could die. So if I can walk, if it's like under an hour walk, I'm doing it, but I don't like it. I don't like doing it. Cakes for my dad and brother. Got this for Indy since I'm taking Valentine and her friends to an impromptu shopping trip. Blue bell. I'm just trying to take a nice relaxing video of Nova. And then this little maniac, maniac, comes along. It's okay now, we'll go back to sleep, little baby. Hello my darlings, I'm here with a reading update. My mood is not great. I have had an awful week trading thanks to Trump's tweets. Once again, I would have been better off financially if I hadn't traded or worked at all in the month of April. Hindsight though, hey? But yeah, in the future, if Trump's going to be doing tweets and effing with political world trade, stay away from the market, Chanel. Stay away from the market because the volatility is going to kill you and you're just going to be taking stop loss after stop loss. But let's put it aside. It's just money. I can make it back, but what a that month, my God. This is the pitfalls of being a day trader. Sometimes, unfortunately, you end the month in the red. So I read I Am Made of Death by Kelly Andrew. So this is about Thomas, who's an 18-year-old boy, and he becomes a sign language interpreter for a very wealthy family, in particular for the daughter. And her name is Vivian, and she is selectively mute following a traumatic incident in her childhood. But she's not staying quiet because of what happened to her. If she utters a word, people die. Her voice is lethal because during the traumatic event that happened in her childhood, she picked up a hitchhiker of the demonic variety, and it's causing her issues, and she is desperate to be rid of this paranormal parasite and enlists the help of some occult fraternity dudes to perform an exorcism. I guess this is all about dark secrets and a quest for power and forbidden love, because they're setting these two up as enemies to lovers. It says YA, but because the characters were over the age of 18, I was kind of hoping it would be YA, but it's, and so insta-love, incredibly insta-love. I'm like, oh my God, of course, they're already in love, even though all they've done is snipe at each other. Yeah, so look, the love story didn't sell me, and this is what the book hinges mostly upon. I didn't really care for the main two characters. I wanted to know more about Colton and his gang of odd paranormal ducks. Speaking of the paranormal element, it is largely unexplained. Just like I had with reading Slade House, I felt like I was missing a lot of information. And you need to read the book, what's her other book called? Whispering Dark first. Okay, this is supposed to be a standalone. It's not, it's interconnected. This character, Colton and his gang, they're in the first book. All of this paranormal stuff that's going on and these deals with the devils, that's all explained in the first book. I'm assuming because nothing is explained here. And I went back and I read the synopsis to see maybe I missed the part where they said it's an interconnected book to blah, 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 or whatever. No, they do not mention the Whispering Dark at all. So I'm kind of pissed with that. That's very annoying because, like I said, I was missing context and I felt like this book was assuming that I knew things that I did not, because I didn't read the other book of hers. But just like the other book of hers I did read, I think it was Your Bones, My Blood, something of that vein. The idea of the story is cool, but there's just something in the execution that is lacking for me. So I think I'm probably not the right reader for this author. It was still a decent time. I will say that it's very readable. It is bingeable.
And I think that is worth something, to have a book that continues to maintain your attention, even when I wasn't really enjoying the teenage love aspect. But if you love the romance, you would froth over this book. But yeah, for me, it was just like, I don't buy it, guys. I don't buy it. The next book I'm going to pick up is The Fourth Consort by Edward Ashton. So this is the dude that wrote Mickey 17. I definitely like the book more than the movie. But we'll see how this new sci-fi of his goes. I'm in the mood for a sci-fi. I know I'm also meant to be reading The Ship of Bones and Teeth, and I ended up picking Follow Me to Ground out of those books, because that was the only one that had a preview on Goodreads, so I could read it first, and it sounded intriguing. So I was like, I'm just going to go with that one. So that's what I've gone with, and my library had it immediately. I didn't even check to see if it had the other two in its catalogue, but I have shelved them on my TBR because they did sound interesting. It is Anzac Day here, so the market is closed until later on. I don't know, man. I'm like, when you take a loss, the instinct is to immediately try to make it back. And yeah, but it's hard to be a technical analysis trader when you have presidents tweeting stuff that moves markets hundreds of points in a session, hundreds. So, you know, I guess wisdom would say stay away, Chanel. Just cop the loss. Just take it that you made no money this month. But I don't know. I have had like no sleep. I was up all night and I feel sick. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to try to make something back today. Hopefully I don't regret that decision, but the markets won't open until the afternoon. So I'm going to film my Wild Ones book club vlog because I need to distract my brain with something else. I need escapism. This is what books are great for. Sorry, I've got Bluebell on my lap. I need to get out of my head. So I'll be doing that. And I'll touch base with you guys once I've read something else for this vlog.
Sleepy kitty. So sleepy.
Running in an empty shopping mall because my kid wants to go to the opening of some store. Oh, things to do for your kids. All right, go down the escalators. Whatever the hell this brand is. Love this book, but I absolutely hate this cover. Hate that cover. If you guys know this brand, let me know. Hey guys. Oh my gosh, what a morning. What a morning. I'm just going to shut the door. Blue. Yeah, so we've had chaotic morning. I grew up hearing the word no for every request I had, and so when I had kids, I wanted my default answer to be yes, unless it was really should be no. And I think my teenager has been capitalizing on that a little too much, and I've been using up all my spoons on her social activities, so I think I'm going to have to put some boundaries in there, and she's just going to have to socialize less. But the amount of socializing she does is insane. So yeah, so she got us up early this morning to go to this store so she could get a voucher. Thank God her friend had gotten there 2 hours earlier. Otherwise, even though we got there an hour early, she would have been at the back of the line. And while she was lining up, Indy and I went to Mecca to sniff some perfumes. Oh, no. And I saw this makeup brand, and I thought it sounded familiar, and I videotaped and asked you guys, have you heard of it? And then it came to me because I asked the person there about it, and it's a hotel. And I realized I saw it on Caitlin Richardson's channel. She said that the Maker Hotel would be her as a hotel, and yeah, they have perfumes. So I did grab 2 to try. I grabbed, what did I get? I love that Mecca gives you free samples, free. I grabbed Fire and Dream. So those were the 2 that interested me the most. The candles also smelt divine. $135 for a candle. These companies are cooked, dude. That is just, look, that's something that you can put on your birthday list because then you don't feel guilty about spending $135 on a candle. But yeah, look, they had some really interesting scents. There was one called Writer and Architect. Really cool stuff. Spiritus was another one, but Hey, babes. Yeah, all right, we'll keep the door open. Cats do not like closed doors. But yeah, so that was fun. So I got some new perfumes. I was not meant to wear this out. So this was my stepmom's, one of her clothes. Once again, this one was way too big. So I decided to use it as pajamas. So I wore it as pajamas, but then my daughter came in and was like, we have to leave now. Everyone's already there. And so I'm like, okay, fine. I just put on a cardigan and some stockings. So I went out in my PJs. I'm still in my PJs and I'm just like, all right, I wore them out now. They're ruined for bed, so I may as well just get more use out of them. But yeah, so we did that. So I've got some perfumes to try, and you'll hear about those. But I did read another book, and that book was Fourth Consort by Edward Ashton. And this is a sci-fi book, and it follows Dalton, who is a disillusioned ex-soldier, sort of down on his luck, finding life pointless and drowning his sorrows until he's approached by Unity. And Unity is a pan-species confederation that supposedly is aiming to unite all sentient beings. But are they? But he's on a mission. He is pretty much, what's the word? A first contact ambassador. So he's gone there with his partner Nira, and they are on a new planet with a new civilization. However, they have a rival called the Assembly. The Assembly also claim that they are benevolent and trying to unite all sentient life. And they think that the corporation that Dalton works for are actually scavengers who mine these planets for their resources and then leave those indigenous cultures in the dust. So are they the good guys? Are they bad guys? Are they both good? Are they both bad? But what happens there is a disastrous encounter and they blow each other's ships up, and Dalton and his partner Nira and only one of this Assembly crew survive, and they're stuck on this planet with this civilization. And they have to navigate complex alien politics, including becoming the fourth consort to the alien queen. So he's like, this is going to involve sexy time stuff. You know, he's like, what have I gotten into? He doesn't really have an option to say no. It's just very uneasy alliances, and you're just wondering who's going to backstab whom and when. I would say it's heavy on the bromance. So if you like bromances, this would be for you, because Dalton and the Assembly dude who is named Breaker, they kind of put their prejudices aside and get to know each other. The whole book has a very wry, sardonic humor, and it mostly touches on things like diplomacy, colonialism, local cultures, and the concept of honor, of which alien species believe humans have none. We are a sneaky
I am very, very sneaky, sir.
civilization. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time. Nira, though, the character felt absolutely pointless. I don't know what her purpose was really. She was very underdeveloped as a character. It was mostly focused on Dalton and Breaker and the alien civilization known as the Minarchs, who are these insectoid-like creatures. It was filled with a lot of brevity. It was easy to read, and I thought it was decent. I am now picking up A Ship of Bones and Teeth by Karina Halley, which was recommended to me. It is a dark romantasy retelling of The Little Mermaid. Now look, I'm not a huge fan of dark romance, especially if there is a lack of consent or the main love interest is exceptionally cruel or there's any kind of abuse whatsoever. So this probably isn't my cup of tea, but like, you know, I tend to just give anything a go that people recommend to me if my library has it. That's the caveat. My library has to have it. So yeah, I'm giving that a go. And as usual too, I'll be picking up another frieren. I think I'm up to number 11. My library only has 11 as ebooks, which I prefer to read manga and graphic novels on the iPad, actually. I find it easier than physical form. So it's the one exception I make. What's the word I'm trying to say? It's the only time I prefer the digital version is with mangas and graphic novels.
And then they've got the paper copies. They don't have the final one, the 14th, because I think there's 14 out. Or is the 14th one not out? I have to check that. But yeah, I'm sad. I'm like, oh, I'm nearing to the end and then I'll be all caught up. And I don't know what I'm going to replace that hole with. So if you are a fan of Frieren and you think that there is an equivalent manga or graphic novel to it, let me know. Because yeah, I'm nearing the end of that. But otherwise, I've got such a big day today. This is what's led me to now be a bit more strict with how much socializing my kids do, because yeah, we had the thing this morning, and then I've got Indy's got a playmate coming over, so we've got a play date for a couple hours. I'm going to get these cookies that you can hand paint and decorate. It's edible. I thought that would be a fun activity for them to do. And then my teenager's got a party this evening, which finishes at 9 p.m. and it's like a 30-minute drive. And thank God one of the other mums is picking my daughter and her friends up, because I told her, I'm like, I haven't slept this week because of day trading. I was up until 4 a.m. last night. I did decide to try and make some money back, and I did make a little bit of money back. I made about 20% of my loss back. So I'm glad I traded, but I traded sleep for that. So yeah, I'm just tired and I've just got to clean the house. I can't have people, I've got to clean the house because one of her friends is sleeping over at our house because her parent works a night shift and they're not going to be home. So if I've got kids sleeping over, then everything has to be spick and span. All the bed sheets have to be changed, all the bathrooms have to be clean. I have to stock the pantry and stuff, so I've got food to make for them. And I know I don't have to do that, but yeah, that's just how I am. I can't have people over at my house if it's not clean. I grew up in a hoarder house, and yeah, so that made me go the other way. I'm not as bad as I used to be. I used to be very OCD about cleanliness. My God, the amount of hours I would spend cleaning every day unnecessarily. And then I had children, and then I got chronic illness. And surprisingly, yeah, that left me. I can now tolerate stuff and not, hospital sanitized level of cleanliness. Which is great, because it was a bit too much how I used to be, spending all that time just cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. And now I've got a much more, I think, healthy level of, how the house is. But if people come over, yeah, I just have to make it that little bit extra tidy and clean. But yeah, I'm actually kind of not glad that I got chronic illness, and that, having children and raising them on my own took so much out of me that I couldn't keep the house to the state that I wanted it to be. But that it did force me just to let go of that insane level, so that I didn't put that on my children. I wouldn't want them to feel like they could never make a mess. Like, oh my God, if you saw the amount of like stains my dining room chairs that have from Indy just dropping every meal she has, she just drops food on the chair. And past Chanel, that would have just driven me insane. I would have been sitting there and trying to, now I'm like, it's like, it's just added to the splatter Jackson Pollock effect. And I'm like, when you grow up, I'll buy new chairs. It's no big deal. Just enjoy your life. Life is messy, and that's okay. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that I'm not anal retentive about cleaning anymore. But yeah, that being said, I still want to make sure that the house is in a respectable condition for guests. So I'm going to get onto that, and I'll see you when I read something. Okay, so I had to go underground parking, which I hate. Any underground stuff reminds me of irreversible, but all of the car parks were full. And I thought for a second I found a car park, but then it was a tiny car. Every time that happens. Yes, I still want a challenge. Doors open. Sylvie loves to untuck the couch cushion. Doesn't she, Blue?
Right when you finish cleaning.
I know, right when I've tidied up and I've tucked it all in. She's got to bring her toys. Those are her toys. Sylvie, what are you doing? Sylvie? There she goes. She's enjoying herself. Blue's like, what is happening? Sylvie?
But she's cleaning it up.
Sylvie, she's not cleaning it up.
Yeah, she's cleaning it up.
so big.
Look at yours.
You little munchkin.
Oh,
Look how neat mine is. Look how
Oh
neat
yeah,
mine is.
very cool.
Hello, cuties. I'm sorry.
Breakfast for the kiddos. Hello guys, good morning. The girls were up until 3:30 in the morning. What it is to be a teenage girl again, hey? So yeah, I'm a bit worse for wear, but I wanted to be the cool mum this time and just let them go. And that's how long they went for. So India was not impressed. She came in the morning, was like, "Mummy," and I'm like, I know, babes. What do you want me to say? Like, she doesn't get it. India loves her sleep. So yeah, if I'm a bit out of it, you know why? I kept having, when you get to that hallucinatory, I had to figure it out then, state where you're actually not asleep, but you sort of are half asleep and you start like imagining you're hearing things or things are going on, but then you wake up out of it and you're like, where am I? What's going on? That's what was happening. I was trying to fall asleep, but every time they screamed raucously, I would be like, wait, no, what's going on? So I kept getting pulled back from the brink of sleep. But I digress. Let's talk about what I read. So I did start The Ship of Bones and Teeth by Karina Halley. And this story was about Princess Maren, who is a siren. And at 16, she, like the Little Mermaid, traded her voice and her fins for legs to be able to marry Prince Eric. It turns out that was not a good bargain to make. So the witch did cut out her tongue, but luckily for her, her tongue grew back. But Prince Eric, unfortunately, is an abusive SOB, so she is miserable and she wants nothing more than to return to her family and reclaim her freedom and her identity. So they're on the ship, and then the ship gets taken over by a bloodthirsty pirate captain named Ramsay Bones Batista, and he takes Prince Eric and her hostage. He's obviously meant to be the new love interest because he doesn't like it when he sees Prince Eric raise his hand against Maren and threatens to cut said hand off if he does it again. However, this is dark romance. So they take her handmaiden, and she says that she can hear her handmaiden screaming from below deck. It's alluded to, they sort of allude to SA going on. And I'm like, man, if that really was what was happening, I could never stand a romantic interest who allows his minions to grape other women. Anyway, the next morning, her handmaiden is killed. And then the captain brands Maren. So he literally gets a hot fire poker and brands her flesh to show that he owns her. And that's when I was out. I don't like, no. I don't care if it's to protect her so that, from other people, to show that she's his property. I don't like it. I don't like it. It was just too violent, and I don't know, I wasn't really that into it, so I did decide to DNF it. It's just not my jam, babes. Thanks, Booba. I then went on to Frieren 11. This is probably one of my favorite installments. The sass and the zero that Frieren gives when interacting with demons gives me life. It has me dying. I'm choking on my saliva because it's just, I just love it. I just love her barbs, the way she delivers them. Oh my God. This one, I guess, is mostly about the students becoming the masters, but the ending, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was like, oh my God, I need to get my hands on number 12 immediately. Unfortunately, my library only had up to 11 digitally, so I do have to get the physical copy reserved and pick it up from my library. And I know that it ends at 14, so my library doesn't have 14. So I've got 12 and 13, and then I've got a source 14. But the ending, I was like, literally. So yeah, this is one of my favorite installments. So that was fantastic. I'm now starting The Hole by Hiroko Oyamada because that just got delivered digitally to me. And I still do need to also read Follow Me to Ground, which I haven't got my hands on yet. So that's not available yet, but once it is available, I will read it.
The song that has become an earworm for me that I just keep singing over and over in my head is Cantissimo by Marina. I love her. She's so stunning. The older she gets, the hotter she gets. And yeah, major crush on her, but this song is a bop. And yeah, I'm just listening to it over and over and over. So that's going on perfume wise. So I tried Map of the Heart version 3. I just have to say the bottles for this, gorgeous. It's a human heart. I wanted so badly to love this just so I could own the bottle. Unfortunately, it's not my jam. This smells like Snow White. It's giving apples and cabins in the wood. You know, it's got a juicy, fruity opening, a floral heart, and then a warm, woodsy base. It's just, yeah, apple and perfume for me. I don't know, it just reminds me of car freshness. That's just how it is. But gorgeous, gorgeous bottle. Love it. I have decided on my summer fragrance. So I've tried enough now where I'm pretty sure nothing's going to beat this particular one. And that was Rouge Smoking Extrait by BDK. Of course, it's one of the more expensive perfumes, so I'm just like saving up for that one. I'm glad it's like not summer now, so that way I can just buy it later in the year and wear it for summer. But it just smells like Monica Bellucci as Persephone, which is an absolute vibe that I want to emulate. But like I said, it's got that sweet cherry kiss to it, which makes it summery, but it's still got that femme fatale vibe, which is what I want in all of my perfumes. I want them to have that kind of femme fatale energy. But yeah, I love it. I'm wearing it today because I did buy a sample of it, and yeah, I just love the way it wears down. It is very, very, very reminiscent of Lost Cherry by Tom Ford, but unfortunately Lost Cherry just wore off on me very rapidly and became very one-note cherry, where this one is a lot more complex. It has a lot more longevity. It's a bit more sultry, and I am obsessed. So I found my summer scent. That does not mean my scent journey has finished. So I wanted 4 scents, one for each season. And even though I have 4, my autumn scent, which is Dior Addict, it is the first formulation of that poem. So the poem of that perfume, it's the pre-2014 version, and it's just a lot more complex than their current formulation. The current formulation is okay. It just doesn't smell as amazing on me as the old stuff does. And I'm not willing to buy a new bottle of the old perfume at the prices that people are selling it at. And how long does perfume last, guys? Because I'd be like, well, that perfume at the very least is like 11, 12 years old. Probably even older than that. Like, would it still be good? I don't know. So I will be looking to replace the Dior Addict with something hopefully I love more. If I don't find something Dior Addict, the new one is okay. But yeah, I'm still on the hunt now for an autumnal fragrance. So I'll still be trying perfumes a bit more casually than I have been previously. So yeah, I pretty much might do 2 to 4, you know, testers of perfumes a month, give you some reviews and let you know if I think I've found a winner for my autumn slot. But yes, we've got the Rouge Smoking Extrait for summer, Dior Addict currently for autumn, Angel by Thierry Mugler for spring, and Tom Ford's Vanille Fatale for winter, which I'm also possibly open to changing as well because it has become a bit too smoky on me. I feel like I've been standing next to a fire. I love it. The longevity on that one is everlasting. I will smell that for days, that lingering kiss. So I do love the sillage on that one. But like I said, I could change that in the future because that's also so expensive. All of my perfumes, none of them are cheap. And I'm sure that there are cheap perfumes out there that are good. So I will maybe look at chemists and things too and try some from there, not just these more bougie perfumeries or things like Mecca and Sephora. Maybe Chemist Warehouse has got a banger in there. I know my kid loves the Ariana Grande perfumes. I heard that Bella Hadid did an amazing one, but it's not available in Australia. But yeah, I might, be very open to finding some other perfumes. But just thought I'd let you know I did find my summer scent and I'm very, very happy with it. But that's everything book-wise. Today I'm heading out with my mum and her friend whose daughter I did go to school with, but we weren't friends at school. But we did go to an all-girls school and it was massive. I think there were around 350 girls in our year level. So I knew of her, but we didn't really associate. But my mum thinks we might have things in common, but she's also doing the mum thing where she's just trying to, what's the word? Like absorb me into her social circles. I don't know if other mums do this too, but if they've got a friend and they've got a kid their age, like, oh, you two could be friends. And I'm like, okay, mum, like, you don't need to be organizing play dates for me. I'm almost 40. But yeah, she's been at me to hang out with this woman for a long time. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. Sure, just to get it off my back. She's persistent, okay? She's persistent. And there's, I'm hoping that just by accepting one of these play dates, she'll back off with the others that she's trying to get me to go on, like cousins, daughters, and everything else. You know, I'm just like, Mum, I only have so much energy. I've got my best friends. Like, my friendships are very satisfying and enriching to me, and I don't feel the need to add another friend into the social calendar. You know, I've only got so much time and energy, and I'm holding space for an intimate partner. You know, like whatever energy I have left, I'm hoping to have it go to that, not to another friend that I've got to keep in contact with and hang out with. But who knows, maybe this will end up being a soulmate connection, you know, a new bestie. So once, I'm mostly doing it to get my mother off my back, I'll be completely and frankly honest with you. But yeah, we're going out to lunch, and I've got to drop off some Tupperware to my friend who gave me the Persian food. I haven't done that yet. I did make some food to fill the Tupperware with, and I did that. And then life was just hectic that I just never got around to driving and dropping it off. So now I'm gonna have to chuck that and fill it with something else. I always feel like if someone gives you Tupperware full of food, you should return it with food in it. I feel like that's the right thing to do. I'll see you guys when I've read something.
Thank you.
Buon appetito.
Thank you so much. Reunions? I've been to one. Yeah.
Are you a cutie? Are you a cutie? Who likes hanging upside down? I love you.
Hello, my darlings. Once again, I apologize for the background construction noise, but it's Monday to Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we just have to go with it. So I did start reading The Hole by Hiroko Oyamada, and this story followed Eiza, who is a young woman that relocates to her husband's ancestral hometown after he's transferred for work. So she ends up living next door to his parents because his parents have two properties that are adjoined and their tenants have vacated. So it's just the perfect opportunity for them to move in next door. But Eiza is struggling when she finds herself unoccupied and disconnected from her previous urban life and job. She sort of doesn't know what to do with herself. Everything is mundane, everything is monotonous, until one day she has this very bizarre thing happen to her, in that she is walking and then she falls into a hole that seems tailored to her dimensions. She gets out of the hole with the assistance of somebody else, and I think this is supposed to kickstart some uncanny weird things. But this book isn't for me. It reminds me of all the other sort of watery, dreamlike, quiet, slightly weird Asian stories I've read before, and I'm just not a massive fan of those. They don't do much for me. I find myself getting... They're okay. I always find them mid, and I was like, no, this is very much the same. I just wasn't getting enraptured in it, so I decided to DNF. But I would say read it if you do like quietly odd books, and maybe Convenience Store Woman. It was giving me those vibes too, but I also DNF'd Convenience Store Woman. I keep trying those books because they sound good, and then I realize I'm just not entertained enough by them. So I am now reading a different book. I'm reading Animal Instinct by Amy. Is it Hearn or Shern? I might have mistyped that. Let me just check, because I feel like I've typoed that. It is Shern. Good job, Chanel. It's about needing without immediately apologizing for it. So this is set in Brooklyn during the COVID pandemic. That is probably the thing I like the least about this book. I'm still not over
the pandemic, and I don't enjoy reading about that time. But it follows Rachel, and Rachel is a recently divorced mother of 3 who is navigating the complexities of online dating and personal rediscovery. And I do love those books. I know it's cliche. Yes, I am a woman who divorced in her 30s after 16 years of marriage, and it was during the pandemic. So because it's very relatable to me, I do kind of like this book. I do kind of like stories that are like this. Rachel, is neck deep in online dating. She's engaging in socially distanced encounters with various partners. I did start dating my partner during one of the lockdowns, so we matched online, but it was a lockdown, so we couldn't meet in person for 6 weeks. So we were pen pals, and then after 6 weeks, we were able to meet, and we had to test ourselves. It was just, it was a lot. But Rachel is not being as cautious. She is bisexual, and she is just this. Look, this is raunchy. All right, guys, it is very descriptive with the sex. There is kinky sex in this. It's a sex fest. There are fluids everywhere. Rachel, whilst she's just sort of taste testing, if you will, all of the options out there, she decides that she's going to create her own AI ideal perfect partner, which she nicknames Frankie after Dr. Frankenstein. So she's programming this AI chatbot to be her ideal lover, but I think she's realizing that real life relationships are not only complex, but perhaps AI cannot be programmed to perfection. It is saying some freaky deaky scary shit, and she's constantly trying to tweak it, and it's just not quite right. And so I don't know, I think she'll end up realizing that she's better off with an imperfect person rather than a perfect virtual partner. But yeah, I love books that have midlife reinvention for women who have just come out of abusive relationships and are finding themselves again and acknowledging their female desire, which comes back to life once you've left a shitty relationship. And I guess it's looking at the role of technology in modern relationships, which is just, I don't think you can get around it. Maybe there are a few lucky souls who can still meet organically in real life, but I think for the majority of us, we do eventually have to turn to tech to find people. But yeah, I like these kinds of stories. I don't think this will be for everyone. I think some people might be shocked by the sex, the graphic nature of it. She's very unapologetic about it. She's just letting her freak flag fly and figuring out what she likes and what she doesn't like. It's got a bit of a Tessa Moshfegh quality to it. But yeah, you just got a mid-40s chick with kids letting loose, babes. So that is what I am currently reading. I am going just with my mood. So I know I still have to read Follow Me to Ground. I will. I've still got The Favorites to read, and I do have to get on that because that is in high demand. I read a page, it seemed good. It's a big book as well, and I hate holding big books. They're a bit cumbersome. So I have kind of been putting that one off, but excuse this. Obviously I'm filming Kinky Corner and May's theme was MILFs, which I'm very pro MILF. As long as the person that they're with is a consenting adult, okay? I don't want any MILFs and teenagers a la Stifler's mum situation in American Dream. Although, can we all just say Jennifer Coolidge is the most iconic MILF ever to have MILFed, and still MILFed to this day. Besides that, I did launch my crochet tarot oracle bag store on Etsy last night. I've already had a sale, which is terrifying because at least with my oracle and tarot decks, I'm not part of that. So I just listed them with a company, and they give me like $2 to $3 a deck whenever they sell a deck, but they handle all of the processing, all of the shipping, all of that stuff. So it's very hands off, but you make a pittance. And so I decided to handle this myself by opening an Etsy store. Obviously, Etsy take their cut, which is quite steep. I was actually surprised at how much of a margin they take, and you do have to pay listing fees as well and store opening fees, so it's fees up the wazoo. But I had all this yarn sitting there that I was not using because I can only have one type of yarn per deck, so I don't confuse the decks. So yeah, I thought I'll stitch up some bags and I'll sell them, and maybe that can bring some joy to some other people, because I love having my decks in cozy, snug, colourful bags. And we'll see how we go. I might decide I absolutely hate the experience of being an Etsy store seller. I realised I will have to go to the post office to post things, which I don't like, but it's all trial and error. I'm looking for more ways to supplement my income, as all of us are these days. Who isn't constantly monetizing their hobbies because of the need for money for basic life resources? You know, that's the state we're in. We're all monetizing. We're all just trying to sell ourselves as much as we can to fill our bank accounts, to pay our bills, because our bills are ridiculous. But yeah, so that kept me up all night launching that, and we'll see how we go. Hopefully it doesn't cause me too much stress, because I just worry about people not liking their bags. That's the biggest thing that gives me anxiety, is if someone gets their item and they're like, I don't like this isn't worth the money, I would feel awful about it. But yeah, I've priced them cheaper than other people are selling, and I use higher quality materials than other people are selling. So, but we'll just see. Like I said, I'm all in my head. I'm stressing about it because yeah, I already got one order on day one of launching, and it's freaked me out. But I need to go and buy some padded mailer bags and some tissue paper and some stickers and things, you know, because part of the appeal of Etsy is when you buy something, normally the seller zhuzhes it up a bit, you know, they'll put something for free in there, and I want to do that too. So I'm going to be doing that today. Kids are back from their dads today. We're starting to get some proper autumn weather. We've really lucky, man. The first 2 months of autumn have been quite warm. And I don't know if that means the seasons are shifting, or if it's just the season of autumn is now unseasonably warm, which I'm not mad about, but I'm sure it has repercussions for plants and animals and the world in general. But yeah, we've still had some really beautiful sunny days, and the trees have started shedding their leaves, but they're still pretty leafy. But that's everything.
Bluebell's helping me list all my crochet bags.
Made some gluten-free brownies.
Thanks, Daddy.
Hello, my darlings. It's been a couple of days I haven't filmed. I have been very espresso depresso. April was just a month of pain and loss for me. Unfortunately, despite my best efforts, I did suffer significant losses for the month of April. I did go to the dentist yesterday, and good news is they were able to fix the part of my newly repaired molar that had broken off. They did that for free for me, which was wonderful. Unfortunately, the dentist did say that molar seems to have now developed a fracture in it. And he said that might mean that it stays sensitive. It's still very sensitive to hot, cold, and pressure. So he said because of the fracture in it, it could just be sensitive. He thinks the inlay that I paid for will hold. However, because a part of the tooth broke off again and it is fractured now, he said there is a possibility it could fail and you need a crown. But he's like, I'm confident it won't. So I hope that man has enough confidence for the both of us, to be honest. I just want it to be behind me and in the past, and I don't want to have to spend any more money on this tooth. So look, yeah, April also included the death of my dad's dog, who was 18. So even though he wasn't my childhood dog, we've known that little boy for 18 years. So it was just, look, there were some beautiful moments in April. Obviously, there's always the sweet with the bitter, but overall, I felt pummeled by April. And I was so optimistic about it in the beginning. I just had a really good feeling. Yeah, but you learn, you grow, and humans are resilient, you know. We just continue on, we keep marching. But it's just, it's taken a toll on me physically, mentally, emotionally, all that jazz. But it's a beautiful sunny day today. I'm just looking at every positive there is, and thank God mushrooms have allowed me to do that. Whereas, pre-mushrooms, I would have been spiraling and unwell. But I'm sad. I'm acknowledging my feelings of everything that's happened, the disappointment and the grief and everything else.
And I'm also allowing myself to still notice the beauty and to find the joy. Last night, I'm going to cry from happiness. My kids have also been a bit unwell lately. They're home today. And last night at 10 p.m, I normally put them into bed at around 10:30, which I think is way too late, but they are night owls, and that's the compromise we came to. Mum is a 9:30 gal, but they're 11:30 ladies, and so we settled on 10:30. But at 10:15, I heard just all of this laughter and shrieking, and my kids are 13 and 10, and ever since the eldest, started high school, she's in year 8, they no longer really play together and that sort of thing. And I know with siblings, that's the norm. And when they're adults, I'm sure they'll be besties. But it's just been very sad for my 10-year-old who used to have this sister that used to play with her all the time. But I heard this shrieking and laughing, and I walk in and I see my daughter's room with like galaxy lights glowing. Like it's a vibe in there. And both of them are in there, which is also very uncommon for my teenager to let her 10-year-old sister into her room. But they're both in there, and they're both on their iPads, and they were both playing Roblox together. And my teenager hasn't played games for a very long time. It's all just teenage drama, gossip, cattiness, all that sort of stuff, And they were playing together, and they were just having the best time. Like, please, Mummy, can we stay up a bit later? We're having fun. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, go for it. Life's short, and this is a rare moment, and I wanted them to just enjoy being, kids and siblings and playing together. So I was like, yeah, stay up late. So I think it was about 11:45, midnight, that they finished their game, and yeah, they're feeling worse for wear today. So I was like, just have a home day. We're going to have a really good family day today and just play and chill and enjoy the sunshine. Might do a little picnic in the garden for all of us. And like I said, just prioritize play today. Kids need mental health days too. So yeah, that was a really wonderful thing. And I just, it brought me so much joy and happiness, and it just reminded me of my own childhood and all these things. And yeah, it just puts everything into perspective. Like, this too shall pass. It's always that way with life. It's so ephemeral. It's constantly changing, and nothing really matters in the end. We're all going to die. None of us are getting out of here alive. So you just gotta breathe, take a deep breath, put on your big girl panties, and do something nice for yourself, to cope. But I digress. I'm getting very personal on these vlogs these days. I did finish reading Animal Instinct by Amy Shern. I would say that this book was warm, witty, a little bit chaotic, raunchy, emotionally honest, lightly satirical. I'm sorry, blue bowel babes. God bless cats. Hey, they always bring you back into the present moment and make you smile. I love my cats and my kids and my garden and the sunshine and everything else. Yeah, what was I saying? I was talking about the book. Oh, the book. It's claustrophobic. Oh, this is crooked. I'm sorry. I had it all set up. And yeah, so it's claustrophobic and it's candid. It's urban isolation meets digital intimacy. And it tells you that you can both mourn your marriage and celebrate your liberation. These are sort of relatable, books to me. Like I said, I did go through a divorce during a pandemic, and, had a bit of a sexual liberation, if you will, came out, all that stuff. So I balancing the motherhood and the isolation and the fear and the excitement. I did enjoy the book. However, what kept it from being great was that I did feel it could have been cut down. It didn't need as much stuff in it as it did. It felt a bit long-winded. Also, for me, the pandemic stuff is still too soon. I keep thinking, oh, maybe I can handle it. But this was very much in Sylvie, in the pandemic, with all of the updates as we went, in real time, all of the information that changed as time went on. And yeah, it's still triggering for me. And I will also say that the AI component, which in the synopsis feels like it's major, was very minor. And I don't feel like that needed to be in there either. I get it was showing the dichotomy between, the digital versus the physical, the ideology versus the reality and all that sort of stuff. But I was actually getting bored by all of the Frankie and her moments and just thought, woman, just delete the goddamn app and get on with your life. However, I would definitely read from this author again. This was very much a sex in the locked down city kind of vibe. So if that sounds appealing to you, give it a read. Obviously at the end of my vlog, I will do for readers who like. To give you more information, I'm now going to be going on to Follow Me to Ground by Sue Rainsford. And I also still have this book. I just haven't picked it up at all. I'm still on chapter 1. So page 9. I do want to read it just because I am curious as to the hype and because I will not get this back. So it smells so good. I am the first person to get it. I love that. It makes me very, very happy to be the first with the hands-on experience. I might try and start this one as well and read it simultaneously. It's just my thumb is sore and I have been prioritizing making my little crochet bags for my Etsy store. Desperate times call for desperate measures. So yeah, while I've been watching YouTube, I've been crocheting instead of sitting down and reading. I've been blocking out time to crochet, but I am massively behind on my booktube watching because when I get depressed, I don't really consume anything. I'm more of a sit in nihilistic silence, looking out the window in a catatonic state kind of person, which when really I should probably go out and touch some grass and eat some nourishing food and consume something that feeds me as well spiritually. But yeah, I think you always end up doing the opposite of what's good for you. I also watched The Electric State yesterday, thanks to a friend. Why was that movie 2 hours and 8 minutes long is what I want to ask. Like, why? It could have been good, but it was very mediocre to me. My dad's calling me. It's going to be calling me about the stock market. I will call him back in a minute. I'm not prepared to talk about it yet. We're both day traders. I've been day trading for over 10 years and I've just never seen markets like this. And the whole, you just cannot prepare or anticipate the reaction from a politician's tweet or press release. You don't know what they're going to say. And you can only kind of hopefully react quick enough afterwards. But yeah, I just can't keep up with it anymore. Anyway, let's not talk about that. I'm going to talk a bit about Hello Beautiful Girl. My channel, obviously because of the stresses, it has been hard to create content. I've noticed a lot of content creators seem to be experiencing some burnout and a lot of them are taking breaks. And I just find it fascinating that it's all happening at kind of the same time. And I do believe sort of collective energy is a thing. So I just don't want that to happen to me. So I'm just moving things around and shaking things up a bit. So I'm not going to be doing the jar anymore. So I know I do this for my mood reading blogs. These are all books that either viewers have recommended or that I've seen booktubers talk about. And the issue is obviously I'm just pulling it out. And sometimes I'm just not in the mood for that book and then I'm forcing myself to read it. And then if I don't like it or I DNF it, because I've got the YouTuber's name or the viewers or subscriber's name or whatever on there, I feel bad and I feel guilty and that I've let them down and it's not serving me. So I am going to go through all of these and all the other ones that I never even, that's the thing too, just having to, I was also putting off writing down the recommendations out and putting them in the jar. It was a thing. It was just too many hurdles for me to do it. So I'm going to go through them all, add them all to my Goodreads TBR. And that way, when I do, I'm still doing the tarot prompts. I do like that because even though it gives me a prompt, I still can choose which book I'm going to pick for that prompt. There's still a level of choice in there, so I can choose what I'm in the mood for. So that way, they'll be part of my TBR on Goodreads. And still doing the tarot TBR pull. I think for this jar, I might use it to store my crystal bracelets, which I don't wear that much anymore. I should probably start wearing my crystal bracelets again. I was very into crystals at one point. Besides that, I am doing on Patreon a keep it or kick it. vlog, which is as it sounds. I'm going to be reading through all these books that I got from either bookshops or op shops. I don't normally purchase books on a whim. I don't really like to spend my money that way. Normally I save book purchasing just for the 5-star reads, which are over here, or for the specific vlogs, get real weird with it because I just, oh, and Kinky Corner, because my library doesn't have the books that I want for those specific videos. So normally I only like to buy for them, not just random stuff. So I want to get rid of a lot of these. I don't like them sitting there. I feel silently judged by them. Like, why are you not picking me up? Why are you not reading me? So I don't know how people can have I know some of them have hundreds of unread books in their physical libraries. That's just too much stress for me. I'm like I said, I'm no longer an extreme minimalist, but I'm still a minimalist in the sense of if I have belongings, they have to be touched and used. Otherwise, I move them on. Bit of Shintoism happening in my house. So yeah, I'm doing a read one chapter from each of these and then deciding, do I keep it to put into one of my mood reading vlogs, or do I kick it back to the op shops? So they'll be going up on there. Obviously, any books that I keep, you will end up seeing me read those in my mood reading vlogs. Speaking of vlogs, the weather is starting to turn, not today, thank God. I am going to go frolic in the leaves later. I have to kick up leaves in autumn. It is a must do fall activity for me. My wildflower meadow is starting to return. Summer really burned it up, but we're getting some blooms, so I'll take some video later. But my videos might not have as much external footage. I know generally, I was going out all summer, multiple times a week. You know, I wanted to put myself out in the world as much as possible and do as much as possible before the colder months came and I became a hermit again. So every vlog had, you know, cafes and scenery and shops and all that jazz. So these ones coming up might just be more book and home focused. I hope that's okay, guys. I do watch YouTubers that never leave their house, like Emily Fox, so it doesn't bother me, but just thought I'd say it's only temporary. You know, I'm still going to go out. I still have to for my mental health, leave my house once a week and go somewhere. Normally it'll be a cafe. I like to eat. But I thought I might actually do less mood reading vlogs. At the moment I'm doing 4 a month, and instead just do 1 or 2 really long ones a month, and then that gives me slot space to do some other vlogs, because as you might recall, I talked to you about how I had a sleepless night of thinking up all these ideas for different ways I could structure vlogs and different types of vlogs I could do. I'm just filled with inspiration at the moment and creative passion, I guess. I'm writing, so I am scripting these ones more. I'm flexing my writing muscles. Well, not really flexing my writing muscles because I don't really have any, but I'm much better at putting my thoughts into words where I can actually stop and think and phrase things exactly how I want to phrase them than speaking off the cuff. I wish I was a great orator and I was good at just impromptu talking, but I'm not an on the spot thinker and speaker. I need to take my time with it and figure it out. So yeah, I've got some other vlogs I want to do themed, and I've got a new segment I want to have monthly to go in with the short books, get real weird with it, and it's the vibe. So, and I think I might keep these ones to like 2 books each because it's a lot more manageable. I am, and that way too, if I don't end up liking the books that I picked to fit the theme, it's only 2 that I've read, you know, at the most. So I haven't wasted a lot of my time. But yeah, I'm excited for that, and I need to do things that like light me up at the moment to put a pep in my step. I could end up hating the things I create. You never know until you've done it. I know some YouTubers will scrap videos that they didn't like. Oh, I don't know how you can just throw all that work away. There's so much work. You've spent hours reading the book and then hours formulating your opinions, filming, video editing, all that jazz on it, and then you just leave it to die in the graveyard of unwatched videos. No way, man. If it sucks, I'll put it on. I'll say, hey, this sucks, but if you want to watch it, feel free. But yeah, I'm still putting that shit out there. I spent the time making it. It's going to be published. So we are in the month of May. I do film all of these videos in advance. I'm at about a 2-week even though you're seeing me probably towards the end of the month now. Yeah, it's the start of the month of May. May's a big month for me too. I've got lots of birthdays, my parents, in-laws, there's Mother's Day, there's a lot of stuff happening. So May's going to be busy May. And I've just completely lost my train of thought. I have no idea what else I was going to say. Oh, just say thanks to my stepmom for giving me this beautiful acne jumper. I love this. I have been looking in op shops for almost 2 years now for like meshy black jumpers. And my stepmom, she gave me a whole bunch of stuff. Unfortunately, all the dresses this time around, I could not fill out. So I'm going to pass them on to my cousin. He's got a bountiful bosom and hopefully she can wear them. But this one, I was like, this one I can keep. This one I don't need like a tartar size to wear. So I'm stoked. I'm so happy. I love it. I do need to go thrift shopping though, because my mum is having a birthday. It's just a small celebration and she's having it themed and it's going to be 1920s. And I did look in my closet and I just really don't have anything 1920s. So I'm looking for something sequined, fringed, a looser silhouette. All of my dresses mostly bodycon because that suits my body shape. So yeah, I want to find something. I know I could just wear anything and call it a day, but it's her 60th. It's a big one. It's a big birthday. And yeah, I want to make an effort for her. So I'm going to, yeah, have to hit up some shops and find something. Fingers crossed. Pray to the thrift gods for me that I find exactly what I'm looking for. But I'll see you guys once I've read Follow Me to Ground. And then I'll be also reading this and I'll want to find some other books also for this vlog. Oh, and I'm picking up Hunchback tomorrow. It's finally come in. So it's finally come in to the bookstore I ordered it from. And I'm excited. I'm actually going to do a mini dedicated International Booker Prize vlog, even though I've already read on the calculation of volume. I don't know. I've been watching other people's reviews on it of people who've enjoyed it. And I can see, yeah. And I can see how, yeah, some people enjoy it. It's just a funny thing, isn't it? We can both read the same thing and we can both think the same thing about it. And yet one person enjoyed it and one person didn't. So I always hope to be in the loved it camp. I never want to be a contrarian. I never want to be a person that didn't like something that everybody else loves. I want more books I love. So, you know, but it's not always the case. And that one for me just felt boring. But another one has come into my library. So I've got a library booker and the Hunchback that I ordered because I just didn't want to wait for the library to get it. And I have a feeling it might be my jam. And just the cover alone with the hot pink and the dripping flowers, like, I'm fingers crossed. As long as it's above a 4, it's staying. I know this is supposed to be 5-star only. I'll make an exception. If I've bought a book and it's got a beautiful cover, if it's more than 4 stars, I'll keep it. So yeah, I'm going to do a dedicated mini vlog for that and try and squeeze that in this month as well. So yeah, you'll be seeing more than 2 videos a week. But yeah, sometimes it's hard to film. It's hard to be on camera. But I'm just trying to remind myself, now you don't always have to look polished and perfect. You know, like I made myself go on today, my hair's still wet from the shower. I feel like trash. I've just popped on some lipstick. It just goes such a long way just to have some color. It just makes me feel a bit better. But I thought, no, people don't care what you look like. I think some people are only here because of what I look like, but I don't have the majority of you. I'm here for my sparkling personality and thoughtful reviews. I don't know why most people, why each person who views me is here. But yeah, I don't care how someone looks when they're reviewing. It does not factor in at all to me in regards to the people I follow. It's just about what books are they reading. I tend to try and follow people that review more varied books, less mainstream. Otherwise, there's only so many booktubers I can watch that just review the same mainstream books. I like people that have personality that I resonate with or enjoy watching. I like people that either have really stylistically done videos, which is something I'll always admire. I can never do myself. That is definitely not a reason people come here. You know, you're not coming here for the videography. I understand that. I also love watching people that have a really great sense of humor. If you can make me laugh, bro, that is so invaluable. The things that I don't like, the only thing that does turn me off videos wise is when they play music while they're talking. There are still a select few booktubers that I am subscribed to because I just love them so much that I tolerate the music playing while they're reviewing. But it is so hard for me. I don't know if a lot of people like that, it doesn't bother them, but if there's music playing and they're talking over it, I struggle to hear them over the background music. Like my ears fixate on the background music. So, but I know I could just say to them, hey, could you not do that? I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to tell someone how to run their channel. Hey, I personally don't like the music that you're playing in the background, so could you stop? No, I'm not going to do that. You know, they've chosen to do that because that's what they like, so they can do that. But yeah, I would say it has meant that there are new channels that I found, and because I'm not attached to the booktuber, I've just not subscribed because I was like, well, no. I'm already pushing through some other channels for that. But yeah, I'm always trying to find new booktubers too, and YouTube sucks for that. I'm sure there is a lot more booktubers out there than what I'm seeing on my feed or when I search up book review or whatever terms and tags. I just don't feel like I'm finding everyone. And yeah, that's why I do enjoy the end of year wrap ups, because that tends to be when I can find more people by writing end of year wrap up. But then I'll find people and then I'll be like, oh, this person's great, but then they haven't posted in like 3 years. So it's like, oh, damn, I missed them. But yeah, I would say, yeah, comment down below if there's people that you watch and you think are fabulous and that are lesser known. I know all the big people. We all know all the big people. I'm probably already aware of them. But yeah, if there's some smaller channels, put them down below because I'm always trying to find them and watch them and hear what they've got to say and hopefully discover new books that I wouldn't have otherwise else discovered. I have talked for way too long. This is going to be the longest mood reading vlog I've ever made in my entire life. Apologies, guys. Watch me in double speed. Seriously, watch all my videos in double speed. I'm pretty sure. I don't care about like watch time and all that crap. Don't care. Do what best serves you, you know. Because I did see someone once mention like, oh, I try to watch people in normal speed to give them more watch hours. Bro, we're all time poor, you know. And yeah, if you can pop in for a short amount of time, double speed, go ahead. You do you, boo, and I will see you when I've got some more books to talk to you about. Hello, my darlings. I have more updates for you. Okay, so I did read Follow Me to Ground by Sue Rainsford. So this is a horror folklore with magical realism. It's set in a village and the story follows Ada and her father. They're not human. They're mysterious beings who heal sick humans by performing kind of really visceral, grotesque procedures, or by burying the humans in the ground, after which they later dig them up. Ada and her father come from said ground, and they are in this sort of liminal existence between human and otherworldly. And we follow Ada, and she is internally conflicted because she's fallen for a human man named Samson, and it challenges her loyalty to her father and her own nature. Their relationship, I guess, is a meditation on desire, autonomy, boundaries of the body, and taboo stuff, because Samson has certain predilections, and I was definitely not here for the romance. I was absolutely side-eyeing Ada's taste in men. I'm like, girly, really? You could be with any human you wanted, and that's the choice that you're making. Out of all of humanity, you think that's a man worth banging. The book is very misty, organic, primal. It's got a very odd sort of writing style because, yeah, Ada is not a human, and therefore you're in her POV, and it is a little odd. It's kind of half feral, half sacred. In this book, nature and flesh are very deeply intertwined. You've got bones, soil, bodies, and the land, and it feels very blurry and folkloric. I found the tone quite cold and detached because, once again, you're in Ada's point of view and she's not fully human, and so it was lacking that emotional factor for me. There were a lot of themes of healing, belonging, otherness, manipulation, human cruelty, the wildness of nature, and the frailty of humans. But yeah, it was unsatisfying to me. It was too vague and everything felt buried. For me, I thought it was okay. I was wanting more from it, and I just didn't get the choices characters made and the way this book ended. It was strange and not in a satisfying way for me. I'm currently reading, I also picked up Mare by Danielle Giles, and this is set in 1990 AD in a convent in Norfolk, and it's about a young boy who goes missing in the Mare, which is like a marsh, and the two nuns at a local convent try to help while also fighting their desire for each other. So it's sapphic. There's themes of faith, superstition, power dynamics, and forbidden desire, naturally. There's a lot of tension between the emerging Christian doctrines and the lingering pagan beliefs. The book was incredibly slow and quiet, and after 200 pages, I did decide to quit because I was just uninvested. It was too mellow and somber for me, and I just wasn't in the mood to push on through another 300 or so pages. So yes, unfortunately, this one was a DNF. I do still have The Favorites to read, and if I do finish that, that will be the last book. If I DNF that, I'll find something else. I want one more book to finish off this mood reading vlog.
Hello, cuties. I'm sorry.
Hello, my darlings. I'm on the couch today because the cramps are cramping, and I need to be comfortable. I read 150 pages of The Favorites. So the story is about Katerina, and she is an aspiring Olympic figure skater. We already know that she becomes one of the best. She is a duo, and the man that she's with is Heath, and Heath was a foster kid that she grew up with and that she was in love with, and they had a romance stemming back to when they were teenagers. So the way the book is formatted, it goes right from the past, when they were kids and how it all began, and it's interspersed with interviews and other mixed media formats that are from the present day, sort of. I think there's like a documentary being made about this couple and some sort of incident that occurs. There's drama of some kind. Obviously, I didn't read as far as that. Sorry, I've just got a massive headache that just came on out of nowhere. Time of the month issues, mate. I can see why people love this, why this is super... Sorry guys, Blue jumped up and knocked the whole thing down. I guess you would say it is easy to read. It's definitely what I would think. I think it would really be suited for people who love Taylor Jenkins Reid books and the movie I, Tonya. I'm not really that interested in sports anyway, unless it's a funny movie like any of these ones here. I like a bit of comedy with my sports. Shake and bake. So I decided to DNF it. It's not that it was bad, like I said, it's just mid for me. I just didn't care. It's a fictional story about characters that don't exist, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to read over 300 pages of these people that I don't really care about. Like, it was fine. It really was fine. I see why people go nuts over it. It's just not my kind of story at the moment. I wasn't feeling it. It's not what I'm into presently. And yeah, like I said, I am being very, and as I've mentioned a million times with my mood reading vlogs, this is where I can DNF proliferately. I've got a million DNFs to pass out, so you've got to earn a spot on this train, and this one didn't earn it. But yep, can see why people love it, absolutely. Just, I'm not on that train. So I wanted to get another book to finish off this vlog, and I thought, let me find something short so I could get it done overnight and finish this today, because this has been going on for ages, man. So I picked up Chess Story by Stefan Zweig, and this is a classic, and in this you meet the narrator, Mirko, and Mirko as a child was considered to be simple, but people were judging him as a fish on his ability to climb a tree, so to speak. That wasn't his niche. Turns out his niche is chess, and he was a bit of a prodigy. Is that prodigy? And he was a bit of a prodigy. And he's currently the Grand Master. And then one day he's on a train, and a group of men get him into a game of chess with them. He is naturally annihilating them until a mysterious man comes along and shakes everything up. So the mystery man has a past. So we find out how he became so proficient at chess. It was definitely not through conventional means, and it does involve World War II, Nazis, and inhumane torture tactics, but not the standard torture techniques you would naturally have come to mind when you hear that word. And whilst he's undergoing this torment, he develops a strategy that both preserves and also fractures his mind, and chess is involved in that. This supposedly was the final novella this author wrote before he took his own life, so that adds a dimension to this story, but it is a psychological exploration of obsession, trauma, and the fragile boundaries of the human mind. So yes, we get this story that mostly takes place on this cruise ship between this chess master and this prisoner of war survivor. It was intellectual, suspenseful, and melancholic. And in this battle of the mind, obsession is both the salvation and the undoing. I thought this was great. It was well done. There were some bits that dragged for me. It's heavy on the chest, okay? But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And that finally brings us to the end of this mammoth reading vlog. So let me go through all the books in order of my least favorite to my most favorite. I read Follow Me to Ground by Sue Rainsford. Read this if you like burying things, familial relations, and Papa Don't Preach. I then read I Am Made of Death by Kelly Andrew. Read this if you like quiet girls, occult fraternities, and monsters in the basement. Animal Instinct by Amy Shern. Read this if you love gossiping with your bestie, top quality vibrators, and the messiness of starting over. Fourth Consort by Edward Ashton. Read this if you like chocolate protein bars, bromance, and alien politics. Chess Story by Stefan Zweig. Read this if you like The Queen's Gambit, solitary confinement, and watching raindrops race. And my favorite read of this reading vlog was Frieren 11 by Kanehito Yamada. Read this if you like paper aeroplanes, sky mountain dragons, and revisiting the past. So yes, thankfully the lowest rating for me in this was above a 3. So there were a lot of 3 to 4s in here, but there were some that were almost 5s, so I'm happy with that. As long as nothing I read is lower than a 3 in my mood reading vlogs, I'm happy. Because I think, yeah, my average rating is already dragged way down by my kinky corner and my get real weird with it vlogs, where I definitely read books that are not to my taste. So it's up to the mood reading vlogs to lift it up a bit, you know, so they have to do the heavy lifting. But that's everything for this mood reading vlog. Tell me what you've read recently, and until next time, stay wild, star child.